All right, YouTube, this is it. The most essential, the most delicious, the juiciest Apex Legends rank tips video that you are going to watch ever. Okay, this is going to cover not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but 16 tips on how to gain RP in any division, all the way from bronze up until your predator. These tips will work, and put them into play right away because I want you guys ranking up. Down in the comments right now, I want you guys to put your current rank and what the goal is at the end of the season. Make it realistic. Don't be like, I'm bronze now, I want to go to predator, if you've never played the game before. You know what I mean? So put that down in the comments, and without further ado, let's get into the video, guys. All right, so the first tip in this video is going to be landing at a familiar location. And the reason that you want to land at a familiar location in the first place is to know where the majority of the loot is and make sure you're not losing RP simply by getting out RNG'd, which stands for random number generated. And I'm referring to the loot when I say this. So RNG is when you land at one spot and find a P20 one game, and then the next game you land in the exact same spot and find an R301. It's all up to chance. Now, I know you will never know exactly what weapon is going to drop in a certain location, but by landing in a spot every single game, you can guarantee that you know where there will be more loot than others. So let's say one building always has one gun, med, or grenade, and another one always has 5. Obviously, you guys want to be going to the building that has 5. It's not rocket science. Okay. Another quick thing about landing at a familiar location is that it will feel like fighting on your home turf after a while. Your team will know the lay of the land better than the other team most likely, and therefore you'll have the upper hand before the fight even begins. The next tip I want to talk about is focus firing. And focus firing is when everyone on your squad singles out the same player on the enemy team and coordinates a shot on them. So, for example, let's say there's a Bangalore on the enemy team. You would coordinate with your team and say, all right, guys, focus the Bangalore on 3. And then you would proceed to count down from 3 and destroy her before she could even move, right? What this does is it gives the enemy almost no chance to react. And apart from that, you will all get an assist point if you end up killing the entire squad at the end. Also, once you have the Bangalore down, it turns into a 3v2 situation, which turns the fight extremely in your favor. And as long as your team can shoot straight, it should lead to an easy squad wipe. Just make sure you are all on the same page and communicate this, because if your squad isn't doing this, then another team probably is, especially up in the higher ranks. The next tip is going to be team fighting from different angles, and that means that you should all be approaching the fight from a different location and not all standing on top of each other. The key to this tip is being separated enough to where you can't all get lasered at the same time, but close enough to each other to cover each other from different angles if one of you guys gets into trouble. So this next tip won't apply for you crackheads who go for 20 kill games in Predator lobbies, but for most of us it will apply. And people underestimate how important the middle game is. All you usually hear about is the beginning and the end of the game. But the middle is like the peanut butter and the jelly. Without it, all you have is just bread, right? So what do I do in the middle of the game, you're asking? This is when you should be positioning yourself for the end of the game and rotating early so that you can get the best possible spot in the last zone or ultimate height if possible. It is very important to realize that you must wipe squads quickly in the middle of the game if you're going to take a fight, because that's when most of the third parties happen. You don't want to get caught with 0 placement points just because you died to another squad pulling up on you. Another quick thing to note is that if you're playing Pathfinder, then you need to be scanning those beacons for the next zone location. It's really going to help your team out in the long run. Now, this next tip ties into the last tip when I was talking about using middle game to rotate quickly and set up for end game. But what rotating sooner rather than later will do is, number 1, stop your team from getting held in the zone by teams who already have better positioning than you. And number 2, it will give you the option of gatekeeping other teams and getting some easy extra points. You're going to be the ones already with the better position, so you can just hold them out, and honestly, you could get 1 to 3 points from these guys, and that would set you up for max RP at the end of the game. So definitely rotate sooner rather than later. Now, it's no secret that there is a different loadout that people run in rank compared to public matches. For example, most of the time in the higher ranks, you're going to be seeing G7 Scouts, charge rifles, and of course Havocs, because the gun is absolutely broken. But the point of this tip is not to tell you that you have to use these weapons in order to gain RP and get kills. The point of it is to inform you that these are the weapons people are using. So in order to gain consistent RP every game, make sure you have a select few weapons that you pick up and know how to use them all very, very well. These should be the ones that you can hit consistent shots with, if that wasn't already clear. You should always be carrying one weapon for close range engagements and one for long range. This is going to help you. Let's say you're shooting someone from far away. You're going to want to scout with it 3 times, and then up close, you got your R9 or your Mastiff, something like that. Make sure you have a good combination, and make sure that you know how to use a variety of weapons, especially in rank. Alright, so having the height advantage in ranked is arguably one of the best things that could happen, especially in the final couple zones. What having height advantage will do is obviously eliminate the chance of your squad getting shot from above, but also gives you the best possible angle on the enemies below you without showing too much of yourselves to them. Now, if an opposing team happens to have height advantage on you, you should be paying very close attention to them in case something happens, such as they jump off, one of them gets knocked, they portal/zipline, or something happens to that degree. This will open up the opportunity for you to take it, which will be the best possible option and your best chance of winning. And only do this if and only if the spot is in the next zone. That's when you're going to want to take height advantage, and like I said, it's going to put you in the best possible position to win in the final zones. Now, I have a whole video on this tip. If you guys want to check it out, I'll link it in the top right now. But having a good legend combination for ranked is 100% crucial in pulling out high placement games and gaining consistent RP. The best combination at the moment of this video, which is the middle of Season 5, or the middle of the first split in Season 5, is Caustic, Gibby, and Wraith, in my opinion. Caustic can gas people out of rooms or prevent them from coming in. Gibby provides cover with his dome in open areas and can get people off of structures with his ultimate ability. And Wraith can portal you into the final zones and scout without taking much damage because of her phase ability. She can just get out if she's in trouble. Now, I'm not saying that you have to run this combination to win games, but I would strongly consider it in order to gain the most RP possible if you play these legends correctly, of course. You're going to come to realize quickly in the higher ranks that you should be pushing teams only if you have one knocked or if they aren't paying attention. Now, once again, it's extremely important to be communicating with your teammates if you have an enemy player knocked. And once you do, you should be pushing them and not giving them time to res and heal up. Once you start doing this consistently, then you will be at a huge advantage and be running through teams like absolutely nothing. A good way to practice getting a knock and then pushing really quickly and wiping squads as fast as possible is to head into public matches and try to clear teams before 45-second mark or a minute. This is going to increase just muscle memory, doing it really quickly, and it's going to roll over into ranked and help you from getting third-partied, because nobody likes getting third-partied. And talking about third parties, okay, hands down, the easiest way to get RP in ranked is to pay attention to teams fighting in the surrounding areas and third-partying them when they are fighting. Now, you have to do this tactically, though, because if you time it wrong, then more than likely, both of the teams that are currently fighting will turn and focus you at the same time, which will end your game really quickly. Now, what I would recommend doing is if you hear teams fighting close to you, pay attention to the knocks and wait for each team to have a player knocked before you push in. If nobody on the opposing team gets knocked, then make sure to focus fire someone who is looting a death box for an easy pick before pushing the rest of that certain team. So this conversation usually goes something like, "So Sweat, I solo queued all the way to Diamond and now I'm stuck." First of all, if you solo queue to Diamond, then your aim should be good enough to make it to Master and Predator lobbies. You just are missing a team. After you get a team together, make sure that your chemistry is on point, or else you're going to continue to lose RP, trust me. And for the love of God, stop queuing into diamond lobbies solo, because all you're going to do is get gold and platinum players on your team. And you know why this is? It's because everybody in diamond and above lobbies have a full team except you in that rank. So it's going to put you with less skilled players because they can't find people to queue in with you. That is because everybody else playing is smart and they don't want to get dookie teammates like what you're stuck with. Now, this is a strategy that is quite slept on in my opinion, but that is to get kills off the start and then play for endgame after you have around 2 to 3 points. Let's get something straight here. I don't necessarily mean land directly on someone's head and let RNG decide your fate. I mean loot up quickly and efficiently and then rotate to the nearest location to engage enemies before they have purple armor and havocs, okay? So while reviewing some of these silver and gold gameplays that I've been doing recently on my channel, thank you guys for the recent support on those. Like, you guys are going crazy in the comment section saying you want more of those, and I will keep doing those. I'll do all the way up to diamond in the first split and then do it again in the second split, so you guys get a buttload of gameplays that are reviewed. But I recently noticed that players were using their ultimate and tactical abilities at absolutely horrible times that didn't make any sense at all. So that's why I included this tip. Make sure to be analyzing when the opponents are using their abilities and save yours for the correct moment. Let's say, for example, my team has a Gibraltar, I'm playing Gibraltar, and the opposing team also has a Gibraltar. You should be saving your airstrike until right when the opposing Gibby's bubble goes away. This way they have no cover and the bubble has to recharge for a good amount of time. This should be the way that you play with every ultimate ability. Every single character, you should be playing this way with their ultimate ability and tactical ability to counteract the opposing team's abilities. Patience is another necessity to have when playing ranked, because it is all a mind game of outplaying your opponents, especially in the higher rank, because nobody's going to have insane aim in the higher ranks, okay? If your aim is carrying you that far, I mean, on console, nobody's aim is that crazy, right? Okay? Aim assist, by the way. But I know this tip is short, but you always want to make the enemy get impatient and make the mistake, not the other way around, because if that happens, you're going to end up back at the main menu, queuing up again with negative RP under your belt, and nobody enjoys that. If you guys want to learn how to be patient and learn from your mistakes, make sure to rewatch your gameplay. Not a lot of people actually do this, but doing this will teach you what you're doing wrong, and maybe you can fix it in the next game. Confidence is huge, guys. Don't be that guy who sees a pred trail and changes his landing location and poops his pants a little bit at the same time. I learned at a very young age that you need to think that you're the best in the game or the best at whatever you're doing, okay? Even if that isn't completely true, make yourself think that. Okay, there's a difference between being cocky and being confident, okay? This way, you won't get nervous in engagements. A great example of this is when you play with someone who has more followers than you. Let's say somebody comes into my chat on Twitch. By the way, I stream on Twitch. Come join, sub Sundays, every Sunday. But if you guys are playing with me in chat, a lot of people will get nervous and they'll start playing really badly. And they're like, I'm just so nervous that I'm playing. You need to shake that off, because that's the reason that you're playing badly, okay? You just need to play your game the way you normally do, all right? I guarantee you, you're going to get more kills and gain more RP this way. Just because someone's a higher rank than you in the previous season does not mean they're better. Trust me. Have some confidence. You are the best player in the lobby every time you step into it. Trust me. And last but not least, the most important aspect of ranked right here, communication is 100% key. Whether it's in ranked or even in public matches, make sure you are making essential callouts such as enemy shields, health, what legends you see on the opposing teams, positioning of players, angles you are covering, etc. I will be making a whole video based completely on this tip soon, so be on the lookout for that by subscribing right now with notifications on. Hope you guys enjoyed this ranked tips video. I'm telling you, you're not going to need another one. This is everything you need to be ranking up, and I will see you guys in Predator lobbies as soon as possible. Have a great day, guys. It's been Sweat, and peace out.